welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that are read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. She is the author of the workbook Your 90 Day Success Journal, no other than Miss Linette Cottrell. Welcome back. Welcome to Book 101, Miss Linette. And can you please introduce more about yourself?
Sure, Daniel, and thank you so much for having me here today. So, my background is I spent over 3 decades in a career running accounting departments for entrepreneur companies. And at this point in my journey, I decided to pivot and start a Women of Color in Business podcast where I support Black women entrepreneurs in their business journey with candid stories, workshops, and solutions. And also, I publish Your 90 Day Success Journal to help them stay organized.
Miss Linette Cortal, thank you so much for sharing your talents to the world, hoping for more and more empowering journals to come.
Yes.
What inspired you to create your 90-day success journal?
Well, Daniel, I found as being a Black woman entrepreneur myself that I had kind of the firsthand experience of what that journey felt like, right? To be on that journey. And most of us start out as solopreneurs. So we're wearing all the hats in our business and we're trying to juggle so many things. So, what inspired me to create the journal was to help Black women entrepreneurs organize their time in a way that was sustainable, that they were working in a fashion that they could keep doing it that way in a way that helped them see where they were going in their business. So, as opposed to just trying to find their way and figure it out, what the journal does is it helps them organize their goal setting for a quarter, because it's 90 days, break that down into monthly goals, then weekly goals, then daily journaling. In addition to that, it offers them support in terms of daily affirmations, inspirational quotes, and even stress relief exercises. So, all that is poured into this journal to help them along their journey.
So, Miss Lynette, how this journal different from other success journals in the market?
The main difference I would say in this journal is that it really speaks to women like myself as entrepreneurs. So the things that I knew I needed to be successful is what I put into this journal. So many times, Daniel, I found that in my entrepreneur process, I would be attending all the free workshops, listening to the usual do steps one, two, and three, and that'll get you to step four, but it just wasn't working that way for me. So, what I found, what really helped my success was to be able to listen to women who look like me, who were building businesses, able to share their experiences, their solutions, their resources with me, right? So, that's what I want to give to. And it's the main reason behind why I started the podcast, because I wanted to be able to tap into the journeys of Black women entrepreneurs and ask them questions that were not out there in those free workshops, not really understood how we have to be creative to be successful. And that's what the podcast allows me to do is share those stories with other Black women and understanding the things we need to be organized, to set goals, to be successful, and to work at a pace that's sustainable. That's what makes this journal different. It really speaks to the Black woman entrepreneur.
Congratulations, Miss Lynette, for creating this journal to the world. Why did you choose a 90-day format for this journal?
Because I feel like, from my prior experience, I knew that trying to plan a year can be very overwhelming. And when we talk about how much entrepreneur, how much the process changes, what you think you're going to do in a year can change. So taking it back to a bite size a quarter, it allows you to be more focused. It allows you to be close to the feeling of what that goal should be in 90 days. I can see what I want to accomplish in 90 days versus 365 days, right? So if you give me
Yeah.
90 days to focus on at one time, and I can break that down from monthly to weekly to daily, I'm going to be a lot more successful than if I'm trying to plan out an entire year. Because after that 90 days, I feel better about making adjustments and pivoting than I do if I said, oh, this is what I was going to do by December, and now it's, like beginning of April, right? And I haven't gotten that far. So by breaking it down into just a 90-day period, it gives you a better focus, release some of that stress we feel as entrepreneurs. There's so much that can be overwhelming. So it's giving, the entrepreneur a different look on setting goals.
Totally agree with you, Miss Lynette. How can a structured journal like this help Black women succeed in business?
Well, one thing that's really a issue with, Black women entrepreneurs when they're building business, like we're the fastest growing sector right now of small businesses in the U.S., but we have a challenge with staying in business and growing beyond that 5 year mark. So, what this journal helps us to do is realize that we can not only just focus on the business, but we have permission to build our wealth without sacrificing our joy and our health. So, the mental health exercises, the stress relief exercises I have in here speak to us tending to our mental wealth and our joy. The, affirmations every day is building up our total well being. The inspirational quotes I have from other Black women from history or from present day help to reaffirm that we deserve the best things in life. We deserve to set boundaries so that we take care of ourselves in the process of building our wealth and not just focus on work, work, work. Daniel, so much is out there today about the grind culture. Like, to get it done, you have to just keep working all the time. Well, I'm not a fan of that. I say absolutely not. That's not sustainable. And I think that's the biggest one of the biggest sources of our businesses fizzling out because we burn out, because we think that's the only way to build a business, when that's really the most inefficient way to build a business. And no one should be focused on building a business that causes them to sacrifice their joy and their health.
Miss Lynette, what mindset shift do you hope readers will experience by using this journal?
A couple of mindset shifts, Daniel. That's a great question. The first one is would like the readers to understand that they have the right to look at their future in bite-sized chunks where they're not overwhelmed by it. So first of all, I want them to shift from being stressed all the time to knowing what it feels like to be relaxed and feel on purpose, right? So I'm not looking at the big picture and being overwhelmed and feeling like, well, everybody else does it that way, but allow themselves to do it in 90-day segments. Secondly, I want them to understand the power of affirmations. So I have affirmations in the book, Daniel, for the morning and the evening. And I do that because I want, these entrepreneurs to take the time. I even put directions in the book. Take the time when you're saying affirmations. Number one, look in the mirror, because we often don't look into our own eyes. So look into the mirror when you say these to yourself. And number two, very importantly, a mindset shift is to allow your body to feel the affirmation. Usually we're saying things and we're just repeating the words, but we're not feeling it. And what allowing your body to feel it means is that your nervous system now gets used to feeling positivity, feeling power, empowered and strength, when usually it's filled with fear, it's filled with doubt, it's filled with I'm not enough. Now you're going to feel your nervous system and get it familiar with the feeling of positivity and empowerment, which means that now you're changing what your comfort zone is for your nervous system. So that's one another important thing that I want the entrepreneur to tap into. And then lastly, but not let any least importantly, is at the end of the day, think about what you succeeded with that day. What did you accomplish? Any little thing you accomplish, take the time to recognize it and let that feeling sit in your body so that you get used to feeling like you win. A lot of times as entrepreneurs, Daniel, we are doing so much, we don't slow down enough to to celebrate the win. It's like I have 10 things to do. I got one done, but I got nine more. So let me jump to the other nine and not celebrate this one. So I want the mindset to shift to celebrating every small win. It's very important that our nervous systems get used to feeling like we won, we accomplished something.
Very well said, Miss Lynette. Beautifully articulated.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel.
I usually do that. I always saying to myself, I'm the head, not the tail. I'm a victor, not a victim.
Yes.
Always in the morning and always
Yes.
celebrate small things in my life. Like I'm number one podcast host on Padmatch. So I'm celebrating for that. Small victories make your life happier. So
Yes.
thank
Congratulations, Daniel.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna give a big hand to myself and for you for sharing that mind shift to the
I
world.
love it. Love it.
Can you walk us through how the journal is structured over the 90 days?
Sure. So a journal is structured to, first of all, for you to set your goals for 90 days. And what I like to tell the entrepreneur to do is set 3 to 4 goals, right? Don't make a list of 10 or 20 things you want to accomplish. Set 3 to 4 top things you're going to focus on, right? And that can be difficult for us because being that we are creatives and being that we have so many great ideas, we think that we have to do them all at once, but we don't. So we need to first of all select the focus and set 3 to 4 goals. So that's your quarterly goals. Then you're going to break those goals down. The book is structured to guide you to break those quarterly goals down to monthly goals. So what am I going to do each month to achieve these goals? So month one, month two, and month three. Then within each month, it's broken down into weeks. So for the first week of the month, what am I going to do for this monthly goal? Right? So it basically guides you through the process of breaking those big goals down into smaller pieces so that you can see where I can handle this for this week, and then next week I have something else to do. And what it also does is it allows you to be flexible, Daniel. So if the first week you didn't get everything done, now you know where I can shift that for the next week. Or if the first week I learned something new, maybe it made me more efficient, and now I can see where the second week I can get even more done, right? So that's how it's broken down from quarterly, monthly, weekly, and then each day we start the morning with morning affirmations. And again, these are done in the mirror, looking into your own eyes, affirming yourself positively, and taking the time to feel it. It takes less than 5 minutes, Daniel, to do these affirmations. Do the affirmations, feel them in your body, and you step into the day totally different with a totally different energy. You're more positive, you're not overwhelmed, your mind is clear. We do the affirmations and then we journal in the morning also. So, what is my one big goal for today? So we're going to journal what's the main thing I'm going to focus on today, right? And
Yes.
then at the end of our day, we're going to come back to the journal. We're going to do some more affirmations at the end of the day, and we're going to say, okay, what did I accomplish today? And the prompts at the end of the day are different. It's not the same every day. So one day your prompt may be, what did I learn new today? Right? And you get to write down that down. One day it may be, what made me smile today? Right? So before you go to bed, you're falling asleep feeling a peace of mind. You're feeling a positivity of what you accomplished. And you're looking forward to what you're going to do the next day. What did I learn today? And tomorrow is a new day. So that's kind of a walkthrough of what the journal has. Then at the end of 90 days, you get to look back. Oh, and at the end of each week, there's a day of review where you sit with yourself and look at, okay, over the 7 days, what did I get accomplished? How did it go? What should I do differently? So we're not just going on to the next week and going on to the next month, but we're pausing to digest what happened and how should I change or be more flexible or did everything go just fine for the week? So that's kind of the layout of the journal.
Thank you for sharing the layout of your journal, Miss Lynette. So, what will be your short term and long term goals as a podcaster or as a writer?
My short term goals as a podcaster is to constantly be growing my subscribers and my followers because the more subscribers I have, the more entrepreneurs I can impact. So that's my goal to be constantly growing. Secondly, to I'm currently working on a book of poetry of encouragement for Black women entrepreneurs, and I'm working on workshops. I currently have a workshop that's already produced that goes hand in hand with the journal. So when someone purchases the journal, they can come to the website, wocib.org, and get the workshop, and I will actually walk them through going through the journal. In addition, with my background in accounting, Daniel, I've learned that most entrepreneurs don't like to think about budgeting and doing their finances. So
Sure.
I'm currently working on a workshop to help them with that, to make it very less overwhelming, less mystical, but very easy and not something that stresses them out just to think about it, right? So simple, easy ways to do your business budget, stick to it, and just keep a check on it once a week, once a week. So those are the things that I'm working on, Daniel, and I'm really excited about getting all those accomplished.
Good luck to your goals, Miss Lynette, and looking forward for your success. And what will be your advice for those people out there who want to start their business and to grow itself?
My advice would be that when we're starting businesses, what I really want us to do, Daniel, is think about the purpose of the business differently and the structure of the business differently. A lot of times when entrepreneurs start businesses, their primary goal is to replace their job income. So first they're thinking, I just want to leave the job and have enough business to replace that job income so I can still cover my expenses and I can still have my standard of living. Well, what happens is that we get trapped in that process of simply replacing the job income. We never grow beyond that, right? We never create a business that we could take a month's vacation from and it still runs smoothly because we've simply created a job. So I want us to think about when we start our business that we look at it in stages. So the first stage of my business is to make sure that I bring in enough revenue to replace my job income. But there's other stages. The next stage is I want to put in place automation so that I'm no longer doing everything. So when I do my budget, I'm going to put in my budget for an expert in social media marketing, right? because that's not most of our core genius is not social media marketing, but it's a necessary thing that we need to do, market our business. So I'm going to look at my business and see what are the things that I like doing the least and what would it cost me to hire someone to do those things. So my second stage of business is going to be hiring those people and putting a budget together. Okay, I know how much I need to earn to hire that person. Then my next stage of business is what systems can I automate so that I don't have to touch them and I can take a vacation, because the point of doing a business, being a business, is freedom. We want freedom. So,
Yes.
how can I create systems so that it allows me to have that freedom where I can go on vacations and things would then run smoothly? And then, lastly but not least, how can my business produce income that will give me money to invest so that I have my money working for me? With that money working for me, I can expand my business. I can build a new business because most of us are multi-talented. So instead of trying to do five things at once, let me focus on one kind of business and get it through these stages so that I have the funds. If there are more things that I want to do creatively, I can invest in it and do that. So I want us to think about the way we build business differently than what we've been doing. And what these stages do, Daniel, is they help us to not get burnt out. They help us to be able to sustain the process of being an entrepreneur, because it takes a special person to be an entrepreneur and stay the course. But these stages help us to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they help us to be able to basically be very successful in being an entrepreneur and survive the fire, because it can be very trying. So they help us to
Yes.
survive it because we know there's a better plan down the line. I'm not going to be stuck here just replacing my work income forever.
Certainly. And thank you for your advice, Miss Lynette. But before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, Food 101, in its fifth season, people, fifth season, with Chef Alessandro, one of the specialty chef in one of the five-star hotel in downtown Toronto. Please do listen to our latest episode. We are reading our letters senders all over the world. So please do listen. Food 101, wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Lynette, um, do you have plans to expand your 90-day success journal into a series or companion guides?
Definitely into a series, but it would always be in chunks of 90 days. So definitely into a series, but I do want the entrepreneur to stay focused on the next 90 days.
Definitely looking forward for that, Miss Lynette. So, Miss Linette Cottrell, thank you so much for sharing your 90-day success journal. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your podcast as well as your journal?
Definitely. So, listeners, you can find my journal on Amazon. Just look it up by my name, Linette Cottrell. You can also find my podcasts on any podcast listening platform, the Women of Color in Business podcast, my website, wocib.org, where you can find our workshops. I look forward to connecting with you.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Linette Cottrell, because if you support her, more and more and more empowering journal to come, and of course, more and more and more empowering episodes for the podcast to come. So, Miss Linette,
Yes.
thank you so much for your time.
It's been a pleasure, Daniel. I appreciate being here to speak with your audience about this.
More to come, people. See you soon.